Today I will be sharing the story of this man's life. I'd like to give parents a warning that today's video might be a little more serious than some of the videos that you're used to seeing from me. But it should be just fine for children. You may want to have a discussion with them afterwards, just so you know. And today's book is called Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by Doreen Rappaport, illustrated by Brian Collier. This is Martin's Big Words, and it's published by Jump at the Sun, Hyperion Books for Children out of New York. It says, "To Isaac, with love from Grandma Dorsey, and to Joe, the custodian at Washington High School, who encouraged me to always dream. Thank you." Let's begin. Everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs, white only. His mother said these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, white only, he felt bad until he remembered what his mother told him. You are as good as anyone. And there is a young Dr. Martin with his mama, and Martin is pointing to these two water fountains. And this one here says white only, meaning that people with dark skin would not be allowed to drink from the water fountain. And that made the little Martin feel bad. In church, Martin sang hymns. He read from the Bible. He listened to his father preach. Those words made him feel good. When I grow up, I'm going to get big words too. And there is a young Dr. Martin reading from the Bible as his father is preaching. And he's sitting in church, I think, next to his mama, because I recognize the floral print shirt from the earlier illustration. Martin grew up. He became a minister like his father. And he used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. Everyone can be great. There is Dr. Martin giving a sermon. He's all grown up now, and he's telling people that they are valuable. He studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He learned how the Indian nation won freedom without ever firing a gun. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhi was a man who convinced the British army to leave the country of India, and he did it without fighting them. He did it in a respectful, peaceful manner, and he won their respect because of his good manners and good sensibility. Martin said love when others said hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And there is Dr. Martin reminding us that only love has the power to drive out hate, because if you're angry at someone, you're going to do something that will make them more angry at you. But when you say you're sorry and that you love them, that's when you begin to heal together. He said together when others said separate. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together. There is a picture of a mother and her daughter, and it looks like they're saying some sort of blessing over a candle. In 1955, on a cold December day in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from her seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. Montgomery's black citizens learned of her arrest. It made them angry. They decided not to ride the buses until they could sit anywhere they wanted. There is a picture of a bus because Miss Rosa Parks was trying to sit on the bus and somebody told her that she couldn't sit where she wanted to sit. And then they arrested her. Can you imagine riding the school bus and being arrested if you didn't sit where someone told you to? I hope that all your friends would decide not to ride the bus, just like Rosa Parks' friends did. And here we have a picture of Miss Rosa Parks on the wall. That's what she looked like. For 381 days, they walked to work and school and church. They walked in rain and cold and in blistering heat. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them until the white city leaders had to agree they could sit anywhere they wanted. When the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. So Rosa Parks' friends, all of them decided that they weren't going to ride the bus for over a whole year, and no matter what the weather was, they would walk. And that made the bus drivers lose a lot of money. So they had to say, okay, we're going to let you ride the bus and sit wherever you like because you've shown us that you're stronger than we are and we need you and your business in order for us to keep running the buses. And that made it so that Rosa Parks and her friends got what they wanted and what they deserved. And Martin Luther King helped them do that. In the next 10 years, black Americans all over the South protested for equal rights. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. White ministers told them to stop. Mayors and governors and police chiefs and judges ordered them to stop. But they kept on marching. Wait! For years I have heard the word wait. We have waited more than 340 years for our rights. So what happened was all the people of color across America saw what happened to Rosa Parks and her friends, and they saw that they were able to convince the bus drivers to let them sit where they wanted. So they decided to march too, and Martin helped them. And for 10 years, they all stood together, and they said that if you single out one of us, you're singling out all of us. And people asked them not to do it, but they didn't listen. They were jailed and beaten and murdered, but they kept on marching. Some black Americans wanted to fight back with their fists. Martin convinced them not to by reminding them of the power of love. Love is the key to the problems of the world. There is Dr. Martin Luther King holding hands with another man, reminding him that these hands are not how we fight people, but we use love instead, and we stand together. And that's much more powerful. Many white Southerners hated and feared Martin's words. A few threatened to kill him and his family. His house was bombed. His brother's house was bombed. But he refused to stop. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped, because God is with this movement. And there is Dr. Martin Luther King, very sad after someone destroyed his house. Can you imagine being so angry at somebody that you've never met that you'd want to burn their whole house down? It's hard to think about doing that to somebody. The marches continued. More and more Americans listened to Martin's words. He shared his dreams and filled them with hope. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. After 10 years of protests, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. Segregation is a complicated word that just means people being mean to each other based on their skin. The white-only signs in the South came down. And there is Dr. Martin Luther King giving his speech where he imagines a world where the white boys and white girls will be together with the black boys and black girls as brothers and sisters. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans. He cared about people all over the world, and people all over the world admired him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it because he taught others to fight with words, not fists. And there is a little girl standing in front of the American flag, probably on a march with her family. Martin went wherever people needed help. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help garbage collectors who were on strike. He walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. But on his second day there, he was shot. He died. So Dr. Martin Luther King went to help the garbage collectors who weren't being paid enough money to feed their family. And he told them that them not being treated fairly was him not being treated fairly, And somebody was so mad at Dr. Martin Luther King that they killed him. It wasn't enough that they destroyed his house. It's hard to imagine being that mad at someone. But Dr. Martin Luther King's big words are still alive for us today. And some of his big words are freedom, peace, together, I have a dream, but most important of all, love. And there is a picture of Dr. Martin Luther King being remembered with some candles. And that is the end of the story. It's so important that we remember Dr. Martin Luther King no matter what color our skin is, because Dr. Martin Luther King imagined an America where people treated one another with love, not with hate. And regardless of who you are or where you come from, it's so important that we all live together in love. We all need that. And this man is a powerful reminder of just what love can do. Unfortunately, as human beings, we all have the ability to be so afraid of someone or to be cruel to someone that we don't know. And so that's why it's so important that we all remember the power of love, because we all have a choice to either love one another or be afraid of one another. And we're all a lot more happy if we love one another.